How would you like to automate people registering to come see your listings as well as your open houses as a realtor and investor? This topic could not be more timely. You see, with the COVID-19 world we're living in, it is critically important that we create a frictionless environment for these buyers to come see your houses. You want to make sure all the lights are on, the doors are open inside that house, they're wearing booties potentially, or other safety measures. You also want to space out the timing of when people come. This also includes them telling you when they want to arrive, the scheduling of the showing. And if you've seen the news in the last 2 weeks, Zillow just bought showing time, and that's very concerning for a lot of realtors out there about what Zillow is going to do with that data. This solution I'm going to share with you brings in ManyChat and Calendly as a way to create a frictionless experience. So as you're marketing your open houses and your listings, they can come right into the chatbot through Messenger and pre-register to show up to the house. And more importantly, at the end of the registration, be able to pick the time that they are coming thanks to Calendly. I'll also share an advanced step using Zapier, which is optional. And using Zapier, we can create even a stronger experience for the buyers. Through Zapier, we could pull the time they selected through the Calendly link back to the chatbot so the chatbot can confirm with them. And more importantly, you can put the chatbot to work for you of sending SMS and email updates to that person through Messenger to make sure they do not miss that scheduled event and make sure you sell that house. Hello, I am Smarty and welcome to my channel. The ProEdge marketing channel is here for you as a realtor and investor. If you like this video, consider giving me a thumbs up so we can share the love across the world, as well as consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss another video. Let's get right into scheduling with Calendly and Messenger through ManyChat to create a frictionless check-in process for your buyers. Okay, so the three things that you'll require to make this solution work is first, ManyChat. ManyChat's the world's leading chatbot platform out there. You will need, and I recommend going to the Pro version. Pro version, it gives you a lot more capabilities like SMS and email and some of the advanced flow capabilities. So make sure when you're on ManyChat, they do have a free version. You're going to want to upgrade to Pro, and it won't break the bank. The minimum plan is $10 a month, so it's not that expensive. The second solution that we're going to use is Calendly. And Calendly has, like all solutions in the market today, they have different levels. They have a free version and paid versions. You may want to start with the basic, which is a free version. You can sign up for Calendly. It does allow you to set up a single calendar per user. So if you're only going to do an open house or scheduling a listing showing, you could get away with one calendar. There is a few other limitations like any free version, things like SMS notices and so forth that Calendly will do for you that you don't get if you're not on their paid plans. But again, not breaking the bank as a realtor investor. A premium is $8 a month, a pro's $12 a month. If I show you my Calendly account, and this is I'll show you how this works, is basically with Calendly, you basically create event types. And event types could be anything, and you define in the event type the time slice that event is, how long the event is, what kind of event it is, in person, Zoom event, or what have you. You could do all kinds of rules, like how far in advance they could book this event. Within Calendly, the calendar can be connected right with your Gmail calendar or Outlook calendar. So I have it connected to my Gmail calendar, so anybody that books through Calendly, it all shows up on my calendar. And it's nice because anything I put on my calendar myself, if I have a date night or out with my kids or we're going on vacation or I'm just not available, maybe I'm showing a house, I could put that event on my calendar on my phone, as I'm scheduling my time. And then anyone that's trying to book time on my calendar will see that as being blocked off. So it is in synchronization with your real calendar. Now, as you see in here, I have an open house showing calendar, which is a 15-minute slice. So if I'm running an open house, I want people to schedule, and I can schedule how many people can schedule that block at any given time. The way I set it up here was I did a 3 people at a time in that 15 minutes. It depends on the size of the house, obviously. I have a large house I'm doing an open house for, so I can schedule different, have them go on different floors and space the people in the house. And then generally I have a 15, a 30, and a 60-minute call, and then an EXP explain. I'm an EXPer, and I go over what EXP is about with a lot of folks, so they put that on my calendar. Other ideas with Calendly as a real estate agent or investor, or especially a realtor, you could have one calendar event for a listing presentation, another for a buyer consultation, and have different time slots. You could also put buffers in the beginning and end, so drive time to get to the house and so forth for a listing presentation. So highly suggest Calendly. It's a fantastic tool. It makes your life a lot easier instead of going back and forth with somebody saying what days are available, give me the time, and you're going back and forth. Let them just click a link, see when you're available, and put it on your calendar. And then finally, the last optional piece is Zapier. And Zapier, there's a free version of Zapier, but I believe the Calendly Zap is a paid version. So if you want this, again, that's another payment you have to do. And I know we're nickel and diming you here, $10 for ManyChat, $8 for Calendly. You can stop with just those 2 and get this done. But if you really want advancements in your business, I highly suggest Zapier. Zapier is basically a platform that lets you connect different systems, and just about every system in the world has a Zap. So I use Zapier to take anything that my chatbot leads that my chatbot gets and brings it over to my KV Core CRM. I have integrations from Calendly back to ManyChat when they book time on my calendar. When I meet somebody with my digital business card, and I'll be sharing another video shortly on my channel of creating these digital business cards with chatbots. When I meet somebody, I use Zapier to actually take, when the bot gets their contact information, put it right in my address book on my phone. So next time they call me, I have their name. So Zapier is just a wonderful tool. And if you ever need help, I have your back. Put some comments in the below, and I can help you with any of the capabilities here. So let's get now over to ManyChat and talk about how you set up a automated check-in for one of your listings or open houses you're running, and then how to connect it to your calendar over on Calendly. So inside your ManyChat account, you're going to come to automations, and over here there's a blue button that says new flow, so you can create a new flow in ManyChat. For this example, I'm going to show you one of my ProEdge chatbot flows, because I have a full-featured chatbot for real estate, so these flows are already built. And what I'll do, I'll show you how to hang the calendar at the end of the flow. So over in here under social media, I have, or not under social media, let me go to, I'll do, for example, an open house flow that I have here. And I'll show you how I laid out the flow. You can create your own flows with ManyChat. It's very easy to do. And if you need help, again, reach out. Or if you want a pre-built chatbot, my ProEdge chatbot for real estate is ready to roll for you. So that's up to you. And there'll be a link below if you want more details on that. The way that I use the flows in ManyChat is I do use a lot of tagging. So I'll tag the house. In this case, you could bring images in. So I put an image of my open house directional sign in here with my contact information. So the idea is, and let me just step back and say, how do they get in here? As you're promoting your listings, your open houses and so forth, as you're doing your social media blitz, like I run Facebook ads and Instagram ads. I do Nextdoor, I do LinkedIn, I do all kinds of business pages in the Facebook world. As I'm marketing my open house, I could put a link for them to open up and come into the chatbot. If it's a Facebook ad, when they hit learn more about the open house or the listing, they'll come right into this chatbot and learn more about the house. So as you come in here, one of the first things I always tell them, this is the first message, I'm announcing that we have an open house Saturday, 1 to 3. We have your safety in mind. We will space each visit and give you a clean, touchless experience. So I'm already setting the tone for them to say, hey, we want to have your safety in mind, and this process is going to be frictionless, basically. What I do then is I usually share the details of the home. So you could throw in pictures in ManyChat. You could also put in information about the house itself. So I have 456 Main Street, North Wales, beds, baths, description. And then down here is where I have an RSVP now. So I want them to basically enjoy it, and they want to schedule time for the showing right through this action that they have here in Messenger. If they want to see more pictures, I can send them back up to a website. In fact, that's what I do. I have a link on my KV Core as a short as squeeze page, essentially. So I'll take that lead. If they want to see all the pictures of the house and more details before they decide to come, they can go right to a website. And then I have a contact us. And lastly, I always put a not interested, because maybe they see this house and they see the price or maybe where it is in the world, and they're just not interested in that house. I never want to lose that opportunity. So one of the tricks I'll show you is I usually throw, if they say not interested or they don't respond at all, I do this 15-minute timer. And if they didn't push one of the buttons, and these tags I use are set up so that if they push one of the buttons, have a question, pre-register, they do say not interested, what's going to happen is in either case, I'm going to tag the person as not interested in this house. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them a digital business card with my picture and all my contact information with more call to actions, like go visit more homes on my website. So I'm always looking at lead gen, whether they're interested in this house or another house. I'm going to get them into the bot experience to see data. If they say have a question, I have another flow here called Let's Talk. And that too has a Calendly link up the Calendly, so they could just schedule time on my calendar and start talking. But if they do say they want to RSVP, basically what my chatbot design does is thanks for RSVPing to our Newbury open house. We have your safety in mind. For your safety, we want to confirm your contact information. So we're going to ask them for their contact information. And then down in here, we could also ask them other questions. I made this flow fairly straightforward. I have other open house flows and check-ins where I ask, are they a realtor? Are they working with a realtor? What's the realtor's name? So you could ask any question you want in the chatbot to collect that data as the person's registering for the open house. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to quickly add to this step here the Calendly link. So what I'm going to do is in the top right, I'm going to edit the flow. And when I edit the flow, I'm going to click on this button, this box here, which is the pick a time message that the chatbot's going to show them. So basically it's saying now for safety reasons, we want to keep each showing with a small number of people. Please pick a time that you would like to see this beautiful home. Okay, so at this point in time, I'd like them to open up the calendar and pick when they want to come to the open house so I can start scheduling it. And on the Calendly side, I've already set the rules that it's going to be a 15-minute increment, and I can have 3 people in any 15 minutes. So that way I can space out the people visiting my house during the day, so I don't have a rush of people in a particular time and causing a safety hazard with too many people in close quarters, or leaving them out. And I live in Philly, so leaving them out in the cold on the sidewalk waiting for the next person to come in is not an ideal situation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hit add button, and I will go in, and I usually put a little message, maybe like a little calendar, and I'll say pick time, right? So I'll put a calendar and a pick time. Let me see if there's even a better calendar, like a clock. Let's see, clock. Yeah, let's put a clock in. So pick time. There we go. That's a little bit more appropriate. Now, what you're going to do in ManyChat is when they click that button, you could send another message. You could send them a text message, an email. You could have somebody call you. What I'm going to do for the Calendly link is I'm going to open a website. And this is where you're going to put the Calendly information. So if I head over to Calendly for a minute, each of these events has their own URL. So if I click on this copy link and come back to ManyChat and just paste it, this is the link that you're going to send them to go schedule time on the calendar. Now, what I like to do is put more advancements here, because we already have the person's name because they're in Messenger, and the chatbot already collected their phone number and email. So when they go up to my calendar, I don't want on Calendly, it requires to do a meeting, an email, and then you could also ask for a phone number. I don't want that to the Calendly to ask them that data all over again. So what you can do inside this URL is you could pass fields from ManyChat over to Calendly. It's just part of the URL call. So let me show you what that looks like. So at the end of this URL, what you want to do, and I'll just paste that in, is you're going to do a question mark, and then you're going to start passing in the fields that you want to send over to Calendly. In Calendly, the two main fields that are on every calendar is the person's name and their email. And then after that, Calendly lets you do what we call user questions. So you could ask people questions when they're booking time on your calendar, like what's the purpose of the meeting, whatever you want to ask them. These are known as the question numbers. So they have A1, A2, A3, A4. Note that on Calendly, and I just learned this morning with another client, you can, if you set your calendar up to be a call, then the phone number is going to go in the location field, and you put location equals in the phone number. But otherwise, if you do it as a user question, like what's your phone number on the calendar, that would be in the A1 position. So what we're going to do here is after each equal sign with the three little or the little squiggly lines here, I'm going to put in the person's name. So I'll put their name in that slot there. And then on the email equals, I'm going to grab their email. So if I start searching for email, there it is right here. And then lastly, their phone number. So I'm going to go up and pick in their phone number. So that is as easy as it is. So now when I hit done, when they pick this time, it's going to open up Calendly and automatically take them to the open house schedule and allow them to pick the 15 minutes. Let me show you how easy that is. So if I publish this guy here and I go into a preview, let's take a quick look at what this looks like from a user experience. So over here on Messenger, the chatbot has now started the engagement. So that could be, again, in summary, it could be from an ad that you run, a post that you do on Facebook or Instagram, over on Nextdoor. You do something on Craigslist. You want to drive them into this flow. Basically, it's going down and it's going to show the open house image I just showed you, the beautiful house, the pictures, and then down here is the button RSVP now. So as they say, I'm going to RSVP to come to the open house, the bot's now going into action. It's going to say, first, let me confirm your email. And the nice thing about being on Messenger inside of Facebook is Facebook already knows the person's email and phone number most times. So capturing that data is very easy for your buyers. They just click to confirm that email. Of course, I always tell the person either tap or enter a better email. They can type it in. And now we have the phone number. So as I'm going down through there, the system is going through and I have a pick a time. And now you'll see it goes right to the event. And my open house is on the 27th. So I set up this open house for this particular property on Main Street. And when I click on it, it's only running from, my open house is running from 1 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you'll see we have 15-minute increments. So I want to go ahead and put the 1:30 slot. And what you'll notice here is name, email, and phone numbers already filled in. So all they have to do is say schedule an event. How easy was that? You made it very easy for somebody to pre-register, give you phone number, email. Again, you could have asked for if they're a realtor, working with a realtor, those questions, and you're collecting all that data. They could do it right on their phone through Messenger, and now they're scheduled for the event. Now, let me take the next advancement here. What would be really nice if I could pass in that data here of when they're coming back to the chatbot over in ManyChat. So now the chatbot can have that conversation, say, perfect. We look forward to seeing you at 1:30 on Saturday, the 27th. More importantly, we could set up a sequence to do a drip campaign or a rule. So once they register for the event, we could have a timing event that says, I'm going to send them, depends on what day of the week it is, leading to the open house. I can send them a text reminder all the way up to the time that they're supposed to be at the house. So I can make sure these people show up to the open house through automated text responses for the event that they've just selected to come to. We could use the event reminder inside of ManyChat to push these messages out to them, either through Messenger, SMS, or email, or all of the above. to make sure that our people are showing up to the open house. Let's head over now to Zapier, and I'll point out that Zapier, again, is an optional step. You do not need this, but I think it makes a much stronger experience for your buyers and renters to come see your properties. I have over here, you have a make a Zap, and I'm going to just, for time, I'm going to just take my existing one and show you how I set this up. So in Zapier, you start with one system and you pick the other system. So basically I'm saying when an invitee is created in Calendly, and this is the first step, that triggers what we call the Zap. And then the first action we're going to do is we need to go based on the calendar that's in Calendly. I'm sorry, not the calendar, but the email. We're going to look up that email in ManyChat to find the exact subscriber in ManyChat. And that's the second step. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set a custom field. And inside my chatbot, I have a field to store the time, date and time that somebody booked on my calendar. So then I can display that back inside of ManyChat as a confirmation. So literally what you're doing in Zapier is you'll say new Zap, you'll pick it's Calendly. The event trigger is coming from the source system. So they have you could have more advanced Zaps when somebody cancels a meeting or reschedules a meeting. You could trigger Zaps for those events. In this case, I picked a invitee creating the calendar event right here. Then you're going to pick your calendar account. So this is your Calendly login account. So my email there, and that's basically it. So the Calendly is pretty straightforward. When you do the find user, you're going to pick ManyChat as the destination where we're going to look up a user, and we're going to find them with a custom field. And then ManyChat's going to pick your account that you want to connect to, and then the action will be we're looking, and I store my emails in a ProEdge field called email address. So I'm going to look up the email address, and the custom value is I'm going to look at the Calendly email to match up with the ManyChat email. So basically that's how you're making the connection. So they book time on your calendar, and now ManyChat looks them up and says, I know the person in ManyChat. I'm going to store once the next step, when I stamp the custom field, I will pull back from Calendly the date and time that they booked on my calendar. And then I close. The last step is the custom field activities. Again, it's ManyChat as the source. Pick my account. The action I'm going to use is I'm using a set custom field action inside of Zapier here from ManyChat. I'm going to say I'm taking the email from the invitee on Calendly, and I'm going to store it in the 30-minute meeting field inside of my chatbot. So the chatbot will have a field. If I jump over to ManyChat, you create those custom fields down here in settings. So if you come over to settings under custom fields, there's a blue button over here where I can create it. Maybe I call it the open house time. Over here, I'll just make it a text field because it's going to be a pretty field here. Optionally a description, and then I hit create. So I've just created a simple field. And then over in Zapier, I can select that field and say, take the field that's coming from Calendly of the date and time they selected on the calendar, and then store it in ManyChat. Once I have that down here in ManyChat, when I'm back at the flows, I'll come back over here to my open house, the one I was just showing you. And if I hit edit here for a second, we'll come over here on the confirmation, and this is where I confirm after they've selected time on the calendar. So now it says, perfect, we look forward to seeing you Saturday between 1 and 3. Seeing you Saturday, now I can change instead of 1 to 3, which is generic time. Now I can go down and say 30-minute, and I'm going to put whatever they selected on the calendar is confirmed here in ManyChat. So now it says, we look forward to seeing you this Saturday, the 27th at whatever time I picked. I forget, but like 1:15 in the afternoon. That is the magic of scheduling. I hope you enjoyed this video, and give me some comments below if you have any questions, and I'm always have your back. I want to make this a great year and decade for you as a realtor and investor, and I love providing this content. So if you have other ideas, make sure you give me some comments below, and I'll get more content out here. I run this content weekly for you, and I'm always here to support you. So enjoy, and we'll see you on the next video.